is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, I'm Gravity here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I am actually going to try to do or begin the series, the PvP Beginner's Guide. I'm just going to kind of give an introduction to how composition should work. Then I'm going to have each episode is going to focus on a different buff and debuff. So before, I think I told you guys that I wanted to do like a whole debuff buff series. I wanted to do a whole PvP series. And in order to just kind of like save on the time, I'm going to try to do both, whereby you're like building a PV team based on these certain buffs, based on these certain debuffs, et cetera, et cetera. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give you this video, giving you the basic concepts that I use and that I've had other people tell me about, just so you have an understanding of how to build it. And this video, I'll just be frank, if you're in game, this isn't going to really apply to you. Even like late mid game, this isn't going to really apply to you. So just have that in mind. Like a lot of this information I'm going to give might be very boring. However, if you think it's boring or if it's something that I've said wrong or some different approach that you use, please comment below. And to you guys who are just beginning early in the game, read the comments, because there are a lot of my viewers, a lot of the subscribers who are way better at this than I am and who have way more knowledge than me. So if they're commenting below, then you're going to want to pay attention to them. Like your Gilberto Jr., your Lynn Rose, your Henry, your well, I think Gilberto is Doomslayer. I think. I'm not sure. And I know I'm going to miss 100 names, so please forgive me as I miss those names. Mr. Emperor Gang and all the guys who are commenting below. Hopefully Dr. Zabaro even sees this from the comments below. So in any case, let me get into it because I don't have much time to make this video. Number two, a lot of you guys didn't submit your kits. So that means, I'll leave the link below again, but that means that you guys who did submit your kits, you have a much easier path to getting the 50 bucks. So plus to you. And number three, special shout out to a coworker slash former coworker slash probably going to be a future coworker again. I know she's watching, so big shout out to you. I really appreciate your viewership. And if you haven't subscribed, you should have subscribed by now. In fact, I drop DC Legends videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Marvel Future Revolutions videos every Tuesday and Thursday. So please please subscribe. And if you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. I got a new camera. I'm trying it out. Hopefully I'll be able to I'm trying to get newer stuff because I'm starting to get to the point of monetization. So I'm like, all right, well, let's update some of the stuff. So hopefully this camera does a little bit better. But if you notice, my eyes will be moving up and down because I'm not used to the positioning. So I'm gonna have to probably change the position of the camera as well. Anyway, so just to get right into it. And I'm gonna be referring back to my notes back and forth. Now, when it comes to PvP, in the very beginning, what you want to do is you want to focus on four characters that you want to increase their levels. There's going to be, how do I put this exactly? You're really going to have to work on 8 because you want to diversify the levels that you're going up, because as you increase the levels of each of your heroes, the algorithm behind the game adjusts the difficulty for PvP and especially red alerts. Red alerts is very important because red alerts is a place where you can get a lot of resources early, mid, and late game. I still do my red alerts every single day, and I've been playing this game for 3.5 years. I don't know. Anyway, so those are resources that you're going to want to keep and get through. Now, if you have one character or two characters that are level 60, level 70, and all the other ones are level 30, that's going to create a huge gap in that algorithm and really increase your average in terms of the top 4 to top 8 tunes in the game. And you're going to end up having a much more difficult red alerts and PvP, and it's going to seem like it's basically impossible for you to get past anything. If you're running into the situation where you're at red alerts, and red alerts should be challenging, but that every single day you just can't get past the first, second, or third, look at your roster. Is it all being distributed evenly how you level them up? Pick your 8, level them up. I've said this 100 times, so those of you who have seen it, I apologize for me repeating myself. Level them up, first all 8 to level 10, then all 8 to level 20, then all 8 to level 30, and so on and so forth. That way you make sure the algorithm is going to give you opponents that will be at least beatable. And you won't be getting some outrageously hard team that there's no chance of you being able to beat. Now, when it comes to team construction in PvP, You have a couple of options, and because any of you who are early game at the beginning of the game, you're not going to have as many options. So this is why I would recommend, and those of you who disagree, please comment. Like I said before, that's why I would recommend if you have, and let me just go ahead and like just build a random farmable team. Okay, let's see. We're going to go ahead and use Lex because he is farmable on multiple nodes in campaign. I'm going to use Harley Quinn instead of Grundy. I think Grundy is still farmable in Red Alerts, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to go ahead and use Harley Quinn. She's a very, very good taunter. I'm going to go ahead and plop in, let's say, oh, you know what? Scratch that. Because Harley Quinn frustrates me. I'm going to put in Power Girl. She is farmable in Red Alerts. Then I'm going to put in, let's see, support or healing. Now, as you're building your team early game, you're going to have to just settle for the 4 or 8 that you can get a lot of frags on and that you can level up. Now, there are those that are better than others. Like, for example, Power Girl, I think is better for early to mid game. She's an awesome taunter. Harley Quinn, to me, just isn't really reliable. That's why I don't really like using her as a taunter unless you have Batgirl at lead. Then she becomes a lot more formidable. Or if you have Dove on the team to give more evasion ups, she becomes a lot more formidable. But both of those characters I just named are not farmable. So I'm not really leaning towards using her. Another awesome farmable lead is Cheetah. I'm not using her in this example. Now, the basic areas that you're going to want to cover when you're building your PvP team, outright first, not lead, but taunter. So in this situation, and in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do it for this team that I'm doing, and I'm going to try to make it farmable, but I don't know if I'm actually going to attack them because this is a little bit of an odd one. So you have a mystic heavy team here. So I'm going to try to lean towards a taunter that is at least neutral, if not has a positive affinity matchup, which means going back on what I just said a second ago, Harley Quinn, from a farmable point of view, is going to be the best um, taunter in this scenario. If we have a Spectre who does his AoE attacks and miss, then there's a good chance she's going to kill him with her double retaliation. Another good one in this spot, or a better one in this spot, would definitely be Barda, but Barda's not farmable. Sorry, guys. All right, so you have your taunter, and don't worry, I made my notes so the old man doesn't forget everything that he wants to say. Um, you have your taunter. Now you want to go ahead and move on towards damage, healing, support, debuff. Now, it depends on how you want to approach in your actual gameplay. I am more of a buffer than a debuffer. I would rather strengthen my team as opposed to weaken the other. Now, if you are early to mid game, you're going to have your 4 that I said before, and then the other 4 that you're going to be working on to make sure the algorithm doesn't screw you over. The other 4 are going to have to be a bit diverse. So, meaning, if I'm building this team now, it's going to be hard for me to have a debuff team because Terra's there. And in fact, Terra being there makes it a little bit harder for Harley Quinn to be effective because Harley Quinn won't be able to lay down in rage. Whole another story for a whole another day when I get into the debuffs and the buffs more so further on in this series. Now, Harley Quinn, I'm still going to use here. Terra's probably going to kill her. Once Terra gets to her A1, she goes after Harley Quinn, she's probably going to die. So just a heads up on that one. Now, next, I said I want to do support, which would be buffing, but I may lean towards putting a healer in. Lex is a healer, and he's probably, in fact, not probably, he is the best healer in the game, just given what can happen with his passives. Another that I would plop in there, if I'm not using Lex, for example, in this composition, I would drop Star Sapphire in as the healer role. Lex is going to take the role of both healer and buffer. You can add more in there, but I'm kind of trying to define these roles a little bit more just so it's a little bit clearer. So, and in fact, to be absolutely clear, lead, support, taunter, and then in this support spot right here, you can do like support or you can do debuffs. And then to lead, support slash debuff. So support means you're going to buff yourself, debuffs, obvious. Then you're going to have a healer role. Now the lead can take that, but these are like the characteristics you need. And then a damage dealer. Now there's other things that can happen along this, but I want to address those things first in this team. So now I have a healer already now that I'm using Lex. If I wanted to switch things up, I could put Cheetah in here, another farmable one, all through Heroic Campaign. Have Star Sapphire be our... actually, Star Sapphire could kind of take on 3 roles. She can heal. She can be your healer. She can also be your support, but she can because she gives mins whenever anybody on the team buffs. But then she can also be your debuffer because she gives debuff immunity. She gives strength down. She gives int down. She gives a lot of stuff. So she does cover a lot of things. So if I have Cheetah in there, who is really going to speed up our team and debuff the other team, her main role at that lead is I need her to speed up the team. For example, she's going to take the role of speeding up the team because she also has on her A3 an ability that manipulates turn meter, but she's also going to debuff. She's going to take on a debuff portion. In this construction, debuffing is more of a luxury than what I'm going to use per se because I know already one Terra is there. She gives a debuff immunity, but let's say Terra's not there. Having Cheetah's debuffs is a plus, but I'm not building the team around debuffs. Just a heads up. And now I'm going to put Lex back in there. I'm going to take Star Sapphire out. Now, who do I want to be my damage dealer? That's a good question. In this scenario, we have two Mystics. We have Dr. Poison, who I'm terrified of because she is amazing with her AoE attack. And we have Spectre, who, oh, great, Spectre. For those of you who don't have Spectre, I'm going to go ahead and try not to use him as well. In this, I'm leaning towards putting in Batman. Batman is very capable of one-shotting Spectre. And in fact, as I'm going through the composition itself, what I may do is I want to be sure that I go first, for example, and I cannot remember the numbers. I can't remember who goes first in this entire scenario. So what I'm gonna do, take Lex back out. I'm gonna put Cheetah in. I hope this is like really clear how I'm trying to do it. So right now I have my lead, I have my taunter, I have my damage dealer. Now I'm looking for support or debuffing. In this scenario, again, I'm not going to do debuffing because Terra is there. Terra has a debuff immunity. If she wasn't, I might look towards debuffing, but for right now, I'm looking more for support and maybe even healing. Now, the way this team is constructed, the goal is Batman. I want Batman to go first. Well, Cheetah's going to go first in this scenario, just a heads up. But then I want Batman to go and one-shot Spectre. So hopefully, Cheetah goes first. I'm going to use her A2 to strip down whatever agility ups are on Spectre. Why do I want to get rid of the agility ups? This is going to happen in a later episode that I'm going to do, like I told you before. However, I want to strip those agility ups because agility ups reduce the amount of physical damage that Spectre will receive. Batman is a physical damage toon. If he was special damage like Artemis or Dr. Poison, I would not have to worry about the int ups or the agility ups minus the debuff immunity. But for the, I keep like correcting myself for those who are in game who are like, but, like, no, it's different. But seeing as Batman is physical damage, I want him to be able to one-shot Spectre. I want to get rid of all of those agility ups, or as many as possible with Cheetah because she strips agility ups on her A2. Here's the next problem. Batman is going to want to crit, and because Aquaman is there, nobody in the team can receive crit damage. Oh, that sucks, right? So we're going to leave Batman in there just for the purpose of this, but Batman in the scenario, damage dealer, again, Harley Quinn, Taunter, Cheetah is giving us the speed to ensure that the entire team goes first. Now I want to go in this position here. I want to add support or healing. Now, if you guys don't know, there's a lot. And by a lot, I mean zero. Well, there's one like energy healer outside of Lex, and that's Black Lightning, also not farmable, but highly underrated. That would probably be the best scenario here for the healing. If I go for just straight up support, since they're all physical damage based, I would want someone who would get strength ups. And I don't see, now that I'm looking at, Kilowog would be great in that scenario. Oh, Terra would be great in that scenario. Can't use them, they're not farmable, right? Right. So let's go on down. And as I'm looking, I see Chemo. He's farmable, but he is not what I'm looking for. He's a pretty good taunter. As I keep going down, I'm not seeing anyone who is farmable, that is energy, that could lend us this support, which is actually a very big plus for me seeing that. Now, given what's happening, come on, really. Given what's happening now, if I want to face this team and I want to get rid of, and I want to try to maintain that balance, I have already two physicals. The two physicals are there to kind of handle the two mystics. Then I have the one mystic who's kind of there to handle the one energy, which is Terra. Now the plus would be if I had another energy to try to take care of Dr. Poison. But seeing as how that will not happen, should I then add a energy damage dealer because I'm terrified of Dr. Poison, or should I add another support slash healer that's a mystic in order to make sure the team survives? Now, this is going to be a judgment call, but I'm going to go with the damage dealer, and that is going to be Arcus, who's farmable in red alerts. I'm going to use him to try to get rid of Dr. Poison because I am basically convinced Batman, because he won't be able to crit on his A3, will probably not be able to take out Spectre. I'm hoping to God that Harley Quinn and Batman together will be able to take out Spectre, because the last thing I want is for Arcus, who will definitely be able to take out Dr. Poison, to take out Dr. Poison before we have Spectre. Now, that is basically, and I'm going to just run this one match and I'm going to call it a video, but that is basically that is how I'm going to start off explaining all of these things to you. There are other principles behind it. So meaning you have the idea of, I'm going to try to fill in these roles of lead, support, heal, debuff. Well, debuff should go with support, but still debuff and damage dealer. So here we go. I'm going to use Cheetah to strip off as many of these agility ups, which were 0. Awesomeness. Then I'm going to try to use this A3, which I'm pretty sure won't kill him, but if it does, thank you. Here we go. Didn't kill him. So predictable. Now I'm going to try to use the A1 from Harley Quinn. Hope to God that this A1 from Harley Quinn hits twice and takes him out. One time. Of course it was one time. So now what do? Should I go after Spectre? Yeah. He's low enough. We have an energy-based tune, but Argus hits pretty freaking hard on his own. So with that much energy left, I'm going to go ahead and go after him. Dr. Poison gets us. Oh, wait. Now he becomes our taunter as well, or another taunter, I should say. And so now I'm going to try to use, Arcus to get rid of them. Ooh. I don't know that Arcus is going to be able to get through all this. Oh, no. Oh, no. It didn't work out, right? So clearly I made the wrong choice. No. I tried to go with speed. Maybe now I'll try with Lex. See if we go first then. That was the worry that I had. Oh, no. But actually what I'll do when I go for the Lex side of things is I'm going to explain something that's a different concept. This was just covering roles and supporting. Next, what team was it? It was the Aquaman team, right? The other concept is, because I kind of have an in-depth roster, but the other concept is what I like to call duos or trios. And that's just two tunes that have an incredibly good synergy. And then you build the team around them and you kind of don't worry what the other team is doing. Like you're going to have to worry about it, but you don't really. One of those duos, and actually I'll go back and pick a team that's a little bit better for this. Let's see. Is this team better for it? I think so. Even though we're going to have something to worry about, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. No guarantee this is going to work. All right. So one of the duos that I like to use, and this is not going to be farmable, so I'm headed towards more like mid-game type stuff. One of the duos that I do absolutely love to use is Killer Frost and Hawkgirl. They're not really useful nowadays in PvP because of all the debuff immunity that's running around. But based on how they work together, and I will go into this again. I keep saying this is like a gigantic preview video. I am going to go into this stuff as well going down the road. But because of how they work with each other with their stun, they both stun, they both gain turn meter, gain int ups, gain damage, gain everything as other members of the team stun or as they stun themselves. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and use Hawkgirl, Killer Frost. That's going to be the duo. Now, if they're both stunning and hitting, then I need to support whatever they are doing. I could put Superman at lead in order because he stuns on his A1 as well. I could put Darkseid at lead because Darkseid stuns in his A1. And in fact, what I'm tempted to do, and what I used to do a lot of was I would put in Darkseid off lead because he stuns on his A1, and then I would put Lex in at lead. And because all of them are buffing like crazy, then they would all get, well, the int ups would go to Killer Frost and Darkseid, buffing them insanely, like giving you a lot of damage. The only problem in this scenario is we have a Black Flash lurking. Now, Black Flash, what I'm tempted to do with Black Flash, since we don't have any Taunter at all, is I'm tempted to put in Martian Manhunter. Or if should I make it more? If I wasn't going to use Martian Manhunter here, I would go ahead and use Cheetah just to give you the farmable options. Killer Frost is farmable in Red Alerts. The only one on this team that's not really farmable is going to be Hawk Girl. And now I kind of feel guilty about that. Should I build another different team that is more farmable and show off the duos? Superman isn't farmable. He's just kind of available in the campaign missions. But then once you finish him, he's still like only R5, right? So then you won't be able to stun with his A1 because you wouldn't have taken a legendary point. I'm surprised I remember that. Anyway, so how do we address? I'm gonna go ahead and put Cheetah in because I want the speed because I want to go before Black Flash. The other issue with Black Flash now is that the only solutions to him are like Aquaman and Jace Fox and what's his name? Kyle Rayner. White Lantern also has an option against Black Flash now, but they aren't farmable. They're just available through events that are happening right now. Excuse me. So then what's next? I'm gonna need a red. I would like a red who stuns, but is also you know what? You know what? You know what might be the best option here? For those of you who still have to deal with Black Flash and don't have an Aquaman, Harley Quinn isn't a bad look. Because if he misses on his A3, then Harley Quinn is going to retaliate and most likely kill him. Is there anyone else that stuns? Bane does stun, and I am a huge fan of Bane. And a lot of people don't agree with me, but let's go ahead and try to use Bane. This is probably going to fail as well. But the duos concept, the trios concept, is basically that you have two characters that work really well off of each other. Did I leave her? I left Hawk Girl in. I'm sorry, guys. I left Hawk Girl in. Wasn't paying attention, talking too much. So now I'm gonna attack Spectre first, actually, and then of course he's gonna go off. Boy, you gotta love this, don't you? Jeez. And in fact, what I may just do now is. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't this awesome? So that was me trying to build around a duo. Last way to do this. So I've already said like adopting the roles, having the taunter, the lead, the support slash debuffer, your healer, and your damage dealer. Now I've said the duos where you have two characters that work really well together, or a trio where you have three characters that work really well together. One idea of that is Donna Troy, Wally West, and World's Greatest Detective Batman. Also, you have your Donna Troy, Barda, and Star Sapphire, for example, as a trio. There's a synergy between all three of them, or the two of them, whereby they just become way greater than their sum. The last is the problem solver. The problem solver is I see a problem on this team, and so I'm going to address how to beat this team based on the problem that I see. For those last two teams, quite frankly, they were problem solving situations. I should have addressed what the individual needs were in order to beat them and then built the team accordingly. Now, the reason why that's a little bit harder, especially for early and mid game players, is because your roster may not be deep enough to actually get to this point. Like you may have, okay, well, I want to go first. I want to hit Spectre first. I need to worry about damage and. So like you may not be able to solve the problem because your roster may not be deep enough. Like one of the things I would do in this immediately is I would just drop Wonder Girl in because Wonder Girl can take care of all of those buffs. The next thing that I would try to do is find a heavy damage dealer. Batman CC does work in the situation, but I still have Cassandra Cain, I still have Azrael, all those that are not farmable. And then as far as like a taunter, I'll probably use Barda. So now, if I'm going to try to do this farmable way, I'm trying to remember if Grundy's farmable. I really can't. So I'm going to try to go ahead and just do Harley Quinn and just stick with the ones that I know are farmable. I want to say Grundy's farmable in Red Alerts. And I don't know why, but every time I talk about Grundy, I always forget which one he is, or whether he's farmable or not. So I'll go ahead and put Arcus back in. But the idea is I really need to take out Spectre. So you know what? Let's go back and put Batman in because we almost got rid of him. The only problem was that we did not, that we had, actually, was that even a problem? It was because Dr. Poison went off and had her AoE attack. That's what kind of screwed us up before. Is there any way for me to replace Arcus with someone who will do the damage? Let's see, let's see, let's see. I could place a silence on Dr. Poison if someone had an AoE silence, but I don't believe anyone does. Green Lantern off lead would probably go first. Drop the hammer, but it would not get done. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Arcus again. Not smart. Definitely not smart. All right, so let's try it. Then I'm gonna call it a video after this because I'm already late. I was supposed to be somewhere like 8 minutes ago, so I'm already late for my German lesson. Tut mir leid. So here we go. Let's see if I can end this video on success. Because so far, I've started the first episode of this series with failure after failure. So let's see if I can have a little bit of success here. I really want, oh, please just, Harley Quinn, I just need you to hit twice and then we're good to go. Of course she doesn't hit twice, but now I'm afraid of Dr. Poison. So do I take out Dr. Poison or do I take out Spectre? Oh, decisions. But take out Dr. Poison, Spectre's gonna go off and he's going to stun some of us. And then he's gonna stun, and then he's gonna do his AoE attack, which is definitely gonna take out Arcus. But if I take out Spectre, Dr. Poison's gonna do her AoE attack and kill like 3 of them. All right, let's just, well, last time I killed Spectre. So let's see what happens when I kill Dr. Poison. Spectre goes off, but he takes out Harley Quinn. He still has the death immunity up. He seemed to be okay. As long as he doesn't attack Arcus again, he should be good. All right, let's see if I can get rid of some of this stuff. Nope, not a chance. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to address this team again, but I kind of want to end on a victory. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is what my friends have been telling me about. Those of you who have been like in the mid game, early game, who insist to us who are in the end game that not every PvP team is beatable with a farmable team. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're right, but you're not wrong. All right, so all right, so let's see here. If only Harley Quinn would attack twice. That's the other thing about Harley Quinn. You can't ever rely. If she would do 2 shots on Spectre like she's supposed to, oh, I think I'm gonna be stubborn 2 more times and then call it a video. If she would just attack twice like she's supposed to, if she would just attack twice like she was supposed to the first time, this would have been done. This would have been done the first time. So I can't actually wait to get into this series. It should be fun, but I think I've covered the basics. I think you can have a PV team built based on roles that you're trying to fill. You can do a PvP team based on 2 characters that you think are really good or really fit your style of play. Like every time, right there to that line. And now all I need is for her to hit him twice. And she never hits him twice. And now I'm gonna do this. Everybody did. Wait, why did Dr. Poison do her A2 that time? That's curious. Very curious. I'm really surprised by that. Let's see if we can take him out like this now. Nope. Not gonna happen. That's really curious. I'm really surprised by that. I'm doing this again. All right, and this will be the last time. Then I gotta call the video. Then I gotta stop. I have to stop. I really have to stop. All right. That's really curious. So because one of them didn't fall, she did the heal. But if he had fallen, she would have done the A3? Where's the AI logic in that? If she had done the A3, she would have wiped this out. That would have been game over. That's very curious to me. All right. And why is Harley Quinn not attacking twice? It's supposed to be like a 50% chance that she attacks twice. And of course she doesn't do it when it's my turn. Is there any other red that I can put in there other than Harley Quinn? Like, honestly, for you guys who are early to mid game or thinking about whether you want to work with Harley Quinn or not, like, she's infuriating. She's absolutely infuriating for anyone who's playing this game. Like 100% infuriating. It's either Catwoman. Oh, let's make the married couple go at it. Like she's 100% infuriating because you can't ever guarantee what she's going to do, and 9 times out of 10, she's not going to do what you want her to do to help you out. But she's definitely going to do it on defense against you. Like I hate her. Oh, she's so infuriating. All right, so let's see. Catwoman is farmable in red alerts, by the way. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do that. Now let's see if Catwoman can do the hit and run. She at least stunned him, which is a big plus. You know why? Because now I can do this and not have to worry about that attack. Now, as long as all of us stay alive to this point, we should be in good shape. We're going to steal that awareness. Well, probably not steal it. Much better. Much better, much better, much better, much better. So now in this scenario, I did use, like, Arcus was kind of the taunter, but I will say this, and maybe this is my flaw. You have different kinds of taunters, and actually I should probably do a video about that. You have like your Arcus / Power Girl kind of taunters who do heavy damage, have very low HP, who are going to have a difficult time. And in fact, honestly, if I even lose this match, I don't even care. I'm just happy I got rid of those two. But you have your Arcuses and your Power Girls who do like heavy damage but keep death immunity on them because they're glass cannons. And so if you hit them, they're going to die if they don't have that death immunity. Then you have your Harley Quinns who are like, I'm going to bring all the attention to me, but you're going to miss me and I'm going to retaliate. That's your Harley Quinns and your Eclipsos. And then you have your big beefy tanky ones like Clayface, Barda, and Grundy. So I will get into all those kinds of things in this PvP series. I was able to finally beat this with a farmable team. Catwoman farmable in red alerts, Argus farmable in red alerts, Batman farmable all over Hero Campaign, as well as Cheetah. So in any case, thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.